team, 64 players have traveled all over the world to the beautiful Riyadh, Saudi Arabia to attempt to become the first ever PUBG Mobile World Cup champions. And that path starts right now.
That starts with the Infinix GT20 Pro with dual gaming chipsets and 144Hz AMOLED screen. The GT20 Pro will equip teams with up to 120 FPS, which is also the first batch of supported devices, offering esports level performance and visually stunning experiences in the 2024 PMWC, a western plane path to kick things off on Sanhok. It is going to cut around the side, maybe a little bit long to get towards Kampong and Kawi and docks, but again, it's Sanhok. It's basically never impossible to get where you want to go.
That's a fact. And right now, I'm always looking at the center of the map because, actually,
wow.
We're going to go ahead and mix it all up over there. You're in a hot 10. Talon Esports. We got a hot drop, folks, and it's between Power and Talon. And we have a 1v1 situation. Trade out. Let's see who's going to get the better of this one. This could mean one of your teammates getting eliminated. Actually, two of them getting eliminated. Oh, and Power comes in with the help right at the right time.
Talon versus Power. I think, mentioning Dark Horses, I feel like Power might have that sort of strength to be able to take things down if it goes their way. But they're losing for Dan now, and they are down to just 3 players. All of them alive, but that's a cut across on the door frame. Yoru able to hold it down for Talon. Looks for another as well. Jumping across the UMP. Will be able to pop the reload here. Push Kante into the corner. And with a Tommy gun, it's not enough. Power goes down early in Hatin. It is Talon to take them down, and they're going to push forwards with 3 players remaining.
Unbelievable. So I think we were going to see Talon drop a little bit further south and kind of do some split looting in this situation, but instead, they opted to hot drop against Power in Hatin. They win that fight, and that is going to be huge for them because now they don't got to worry about split looting. They got 4 points off the rip, and Power is going to have to worry about them in the next couple Sandhawks we see the next few days.
Early lead for Talon, 4 points on the card already. Losing a player for it, though, potentially difficult to move through what is probably going to be quite a difficult set of rotations now. With the circle pushing up north, they're playing in Hatin. Currently, no one holds that northern bridge, which is potentially a position for Tiamba to regroup towards. They might try and go for a 2-2 split. There's that beautiful compound that sits just to the south of that north bridge, which I'm expecting Tiamba to at least think about taking to regroup in, but it's a bit more centered over towards Paradise Resort.
Yeah, I mean, the zone is a perfect situation for them. Alula IHC are off on that island on the north left side of the map, so they're going to have to get going pretty quickly here. But one thing we didn't get a chance to talk about, right, is boot camp.
It's true.
Because now that we do not see Team Falcons here,
or Team Spirit.
That's right. Yeah, that left boot camp wide open. So Team Liquid are the squad to take that position, and they're going to be looted up to the teeth. So a very fortunate situation for them when it comes to Sandhawk.
Playing in the middle as well. This is a decent position. You always need to be careful about your northern flank from boot camp as we take a look at a bit of the replay between Talon and Power. Moving out from boot camp is always one of the more dangerous rotations that you see on Sandhawk. Team Liquid, they've actually put, I believe that's Cardozen, out on the east side, and they're currently now regrouping out of there. So they managed to make that position work for them. They left that one player out wide, gave them that route out, and secured a safe path to leave from the boot camp. They transitioned to the hills to the east. It's very well principled. It's a pretty standard early maneuver, but they've made it work.
Yeah, and that's what you want to do, especially when a zone like this happens. You want to be able to get even more central. And I said it in the interview I had earlier, right? You want to get in a central position with this kind of lobby. Edge style play is so much more difficult. You know, in earlier tournaments, it's easy, but Mythic.
He's over the ridge.
Okay, he was able to get there just in time. One little tree hit like that could spell disaster, but he is able to get away with it for now.
Yeah, no one close enough just yet to be able to take them down. And this is that rotation now that Team Liquid have gone for. Olex IHC have got oversight onto the Talon position, and actually Tianba are currently watching out on the northern point of the east coast, which means that this crossing for Talon and Olex IHC is going to be a little bit tricky, right? Especially if they want to go on its north side. Tiamba looking for boats moving around on the northern side, trying to protect their coastline from naval assaults on that northern edge. So currently playing on a 2-1-1 split, securing their rotations further south as well.
Yeah, I think Alula HC needs to play this a little bit more quietly right now. I mean, they still need to find a way into the circle, so I don't think they should be trying to make too much noise in this position. Yeah, Talon is a little bit pinched in between them and Tianba. And you could already see some teams on the rotation. Looking at TJB, this is Seven's dark horse pick for the tournament, and they've done pretty well. So I think I'm not shocked to hear that that's going to be his pick for this one. I
mean, they had a pretty decent time back in the group stages, finishing up in second, 106 points. I'm on the fence as to whether or not they are a dark horse, as to whether they would sort of count in that category. But I think that, you know, they may be not in the conversation of a lot of people talking about first place teams. But we have had to chuck most of those conversations out the windows, with Falcons going down, with Spirit going down, with some of the favorite teams not really picking up the pace in the group stages, like Alpha 7.
Yeah, and Alpha 7 in particular is definitely going to be a huge favorite for this one. And you can just see them on the move right now, moving just a little bit away from Bond, trying to find that solid position here. Almost every single squad is going to be in this spot. IHC and Talon still need to find a way in, and that's the hard part about that island. If the zone does go there, it's like almost guaranteed a chicken dinner, double-digit elimination points. If the zone doesn't go there, you're going to have a hard time in there. So they took that gamble, and unfortunately, it's not going to pay off for this one. But let's see. They had to have that contingency plan on how to be able to get into this island. I'm very interested in seeing how they decide to execute that, though.
Alpha 7 playing close together near Barn. Looking for a little peek over those ridge lines. Twisted Minds find Alliance. This is on the northeast side of the main pack. Twisted Minds trying to hold out their ground. Alliance take a knock. They haven't been flushed just yet, and I think they've got a player close enough to just go for this res. If they've got the cover, yeah, you can see they are going to be able to manage that. Twisted Minds playing across that valley with the shots, not really going to send on it, not going to confirm that flush. Now the Northwest Island is still occupied. Alola XIHC and Talon still over there. They're going to need to cross fairly soon.
For those of you guys that have been watching from the beginning of this tournament, you can already tell that the level of play here has increased dramatically. You know, no crazy fights off the rip. Everybody's just moving inch by inch, trying to get a good position, and then you're going to hear those shots ring out a little bit further. Of course, excluding the hot drop we saw from Power, actually not Power, but from Talon, right? Talon did hot drop on a Power, and we're able to take full advantage of it. You can see Revel putting some shot onto Alliance across the way. And we're going to see some of these pop shots here and there, but all these teams, for the most part, are avoiding a fight at all costs. Because if a fight does ring out now, your chances of getting third party are practically 100%.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very quick as a response. Although from the teams in the middle, it's less likely they leave those locations to go for a third party, right? Currently, we have IWNRX slap bang middle of this next circle. And if they push out, they're going to leave a vacuum. Someone else is going to fill that. So they're going to be left, unless they win that fight that they go for, it's basically, they're basically done for. And in general, that ring that sits around them is also going to be pretty difficult to leave. The first person to make a move has a little bit of a mark placed above them.
I will say, though, there is one team in particular who is not afraid to do that, to leave a central position, to go off to the edge and try to take you out. And that is for MV.
Okay.
Right? These guys are ultra aggressive. Now, I think that is one of their strengths, because if they do go to that edge, wipe out that team, they get a ton of points, third-party loot, and then they can get back. But that could also spell and be their weakness, because if they do, like you mentioned, go out to that edge, now the zone may hard shift away from you, you lose a player to that fight, it could really spell disaster. So I'm interested to see if 4MV will take those risks in a lobby like this, because it's really difficult, especially when you're in a nice central position. Sometimes you're like, hey, let's just win this game from here.
Can be pretty tempting to try and do that. And at the moment, IWNRX sit in one of those junction compounds, which is a focal point on a lot of Sandhawk circles. You get those compounds that just sort of sit in this valley where the roads join, a couple of buildings, some nice hard cover, some decent sight lines. Difficult to leave, though. Difficult to approach and difficult to leave.
I'll say this.
If the position's right for it. But
I'll
there
say
are
it's
some
even difficult to defend sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah, because right now they're in that central position. I hope they have some vehicles, though, just positioned. Because if we see a hard shift to the north or south, they may have to use them, because it's very, very difficult to walk away from those houses. But we'll see if it ends up paying off for them. If the zone centers up multiple times, they're going to be solid.
Looks like 4MV find DRX. DRX, by the way, Blank's assertion that they're going to be 16th place. And to be honest, I can't disagree too much with it. I think that this is a team that they just found something completely different in the survival stage, right? They did place second there, but they were dead last in the group stages. They're going to be coming back into the fight with those top 12 teams that they just couldn't do anything against. And it looks like 4Miracle Vibes are going to remind them just what it's like to be playing in this lobby.
Yeah, you know, that's kind of a... It's kind of a double-edged sword, right? When you do so well during a survival stage, because sometimes you can get a little bit of false confidence, just thinking, oh man, we figured out what the problem was. All we gotta do is play like this during the main stage and we'll be top 2. No, sir. It's a totally different lobby. So I hope that they understand that. They went home, you know, been back to the drawing board and made some changes here. All right, next zone does pop on up, and it is gonna head on over to the east side here. So Alula, IHC, Vampire, even Tiamba are gonna have to start pushing on in.
And they are gonna push straight on in. At the moment, Vampire looking to regroup. Nuzi and Schwepp disparate from these front two, and it looks like they have to take the fight. Alolex IHC, not 4 players though, just yet. Demo's still on the swim, staying on that island on the crossing, and Vampire still just trying to fall back, trying to disengage. You can see 2 of their players posting up on the high ground, but Stoned, I think he's locked into this fight now. Godless wants to move forwards, but he's nading, retreating, staggering his retreat. Keeping it under control. Tony K gets a little bit of high ground.
Nice
and
shot.
Goes down. Goes for the spray with the M4. Gets the flush almost immediately. A 1-2 punch from the players on the inside. Vampire still playing 2-2. Tony K back behind the rock, but Godless has to slow things down as damage goes his way. Alex moving forwards and Stones holding nerve.
Oh, she should have known that there was going to be a player coming from that angle. It's a super common position to play, but they got circumvented and taken out. So now they are going to have to make it happen. Godless especially is going to have to try and find a shot on a Tony K, but there's not going to be a really angle from there. I think at this point, they're just going to have to try and brute force their way through.
Something the Vampire were doing previously, and it's something that you don't think is going to work, is that edge style. Oh, there's Demo. It comes in, the third-party angle. I think they're going to know where it's from. Does Tony K have cover? That's the question. Nuzi is looking for it as well. In the meantime, Talon are moving him behind this, and Demo is vulnerable to it. Stoned is taking a 1 versus 2. He's already struck first blow and will take down Alex. Godless now with a nade as he puts one to the back of the warehouse. Tries to find the second player from Alolex HC on the angle, and there's the Talon third party I was talking about on the northern side. That's the off-angle remove. Dispatched and flushed. Stone with Godless stepping out. He's got the DBS, and Vampire hold strong. Tony K is down. Can they get the res? No. There's the flush.
Let's see what happens. Here comes that third party real quick. Team Liquid, they knew this fight was here. They know this area so well. They did drop into boot camp in the first place, so you can see them run over here, and I like this. They get a quick elimination, and they leave. They don't stay in the blue zone any longer than they need to. Take the money and run.
Getting on out of there, but they got to push through Reject. They are in the way right now of Team Liquid's approach from the western edge. I'm surprised we're not seeing more fights popping off now because the north side is starting to get very, very crowded. Tiama are going to be looking for their way in on the eastern edge. They rotate around the top, past Camp Bravo, and pushing on the east near Twisted Minds, but Reject still holding out Team Liquid. An opening, though, found by Cardozin as he nails the headshot.
You can see Team Liquid, they are under pressure now. This is zone 3. You can see they sent 2 players out in a vehicle to try and get a good angle onto Team Reject. They are starting to crowd on them. Team Reject's gonna have to hit a brutal nade. Oh, and he just misses it. You can see him go up with the up though. Gonna get that quick thirst, secure that point. Team Liquid is now in trouble.
They've already taken casualties. Sarah is down for Reject, but they still stand stalwart in the way. Chief, though, has other ideas. The SK-12 able to find first strike on the engagement, but the off angle, it's Talon. They're still pushing it behind, and this is disaster for Team Liquid, and apparently disaster for Reject, as Talon just start to sweep on through. 7 eliminations now on the match. They lost 1 early to that drop, and they want more. They want the rest of Reject.
Talon. So fortunate, timing being perfect for them. 7 eliminations, that is a great start no matter how they end this game. And in Sandhawk, if you can get away with 7 points, you'll be more than happy. Make that 8 points just like that. And they're looking to soak up some more. Right now, they're just playing cleanup duty. Just, hey, waiting for a fight to happen on the edge, come in right at the right time, steal some elimination points. That's huge.
They were able to get that 4 points off the rip on the hot drop, that third party of it towards the boot camp fight against Vampires, now sweeping through Liquid and the rest of Reject, who have, by the way, managed to res up to 3 players alive. It looked a lot shakier than it did, but the Reject team can start to strike in towards the IWNRX compound, which is going to be tough. Sara, though, wants to clear out the back, wants to try and get rid of Talon as an annoyance.
Oh,
there's the spray down, but the off angle is there and able to take care of Sara. Reject not going to go down without a fight, but a second knock sent their way makes it all the harder. One player now to stand in the way, but Talon are down to 2, a sliver of HP on one of their players, and Yoru and Axel need to try and make it work.
That nade barely missing. Here comes Dwello running up front close and personal. Yoru with the M4. Oh, he's gonna go down just like that, but Dwello gets caught from IWNRX. It's third party after third party, and that's Team Reject out. 12 teams remaining, and we're gonna see a whole lot more get dominated as we look at Tiamba putting some pressure on the Twisted Minds. That Molly looks good.
Over the top of the rock, and there's the knock you're looking for. Will be able to find one. Tiamba have suffered casualties, but so have Twisted Minds. 2 versus 3 as Tiamba try and crawl their way forwards. Another knock found, and Twisted Minds holding as much as they can on the east with the 2 players. 4MV, they're moving around that barn basin over on the east side, and they want to try and take control of this. Go for a third-party flex out.
And Talon get another couple of eliminations. They've been hanging out in the blue so far deep that they're watching these fights happen, and they've been stealing point after point after point. That's 10 already for them. And they might be able to sneak one more away, but they only have 1 player alive, and he's getting chunked down by the blue zone. Now we see out of 7, 2 players down. 2 remaining. Let's see if they're going to be able to get these reses off, because all the pressure's on them. Everybody wants their position.
Yeah, with that western shift on the circle, it gives them a massive slice of things. And that hilltop is going to be all important. That vantage point it will afford them, if they can hold on to it, will be invaluable. But so many teams, you're right, just going to put pressure on, not least of which is TJB on the southwest side.
This timing is so perfect for Alpha 7 because they're able to get these reses off. They need to be able to do it so quickly, and it's going to work out for them. They're going to have all 4 up in this zone, so I don't think these teams that are right close to them realize just how hurt Alpha 7 was. And that one little mistake could wreak disaster for their squads. You can see PUBG Esports starting to do some shenanigans, driving around. Now going to be able to apply some pressure to Xavier. Let's see if Rezi's able to get that crucial first knock.
Lamborghini trying to hold the off angle. Erase gets the shot. Actually, no, it's a spray down from the off angle. The 2 players moving on forwards. They've split Xavier on their hold, and now Boom look to open the door. Paragin on the inside looks to hold with the spray down, but it's not there. And now Lamborghini, last hope for Xavier, has a challenge from a DPS, and he is not up to the task. Yummy able to put him in the dirt. A Xavier fall to Boom.
PUBG Esports with a critical finish right there. That's 4 points for them. Now they're starting to get warmed up here. We still see a couple squads that need to get moving. I'm looking at you, 4MV, Tiamba as well. Twisted Minds with a beautiful couple knocks right there, but he's going to go out just like that. Still, points being spread pretty much across the majority of these teams.
Boom with 4 players. They're now starting to extend their presence against Alliance on the northern side. Not too much to worry about. I'll take that back actually as Bombit goes down. Gets flushed as well for Boom. Playing on as 3. Alpha 7 and TJB currently. The 2 teams with 4 players alive. Take that back. 4 Miracle Vibes still have 4 on the eastern side. But 4MV only the 1 elimination. Taking a knock as well. Trying to carry themselves forwards. Move up from the cover of barn.
Here goes Rebel. Now it's just play keep away. I mean, they are gifted this circle. This is Alpha 7 at their best right here, where they don't got to worry about a single thing. Just shoot at everything that moves, and they do it better than anybody else. Now you look at TJB on this edge here, trying to get some points on the Boom. They are hurting. Only 1 player up left, and they need to finish this rather quickly because this zone is going to hurt.
Alpha 7 holding still in the buildings, but they've only got 1 elimination so far. Actually, no, they've got 2 now. Trying to take care of a couple more if they can to get those chicken dinners in with a decent elimination count. That's what you're looking for. DRX are alive quite late in this one, but they're trying to push in from the southeast side. They've only got 2 players now standing, and it's going to be difficult. Next to 4MV. TGB just keep things going though. 3 eliminations, and they are going to take a lot of wind out of the sails of Alpha 7 if they keep taking these points.
They're just trying to soak up as many as they possibly can because they know getting in this next zone is going to be pretty difficult here. So if they can get some of these elimination points just to kind of hedge their bets, that's going to work out perfectly. And right now you see Alliance with a beautiful shot onto 4MV. He's going to go start setting it. 4MV are completely trapped. There's no way they make out of this alive.
Apex tries to withstand the nade and will be able to do so. Not going to be falling victim to it just yet. And Alliance are eating lead from the off angle as well. Might just slow things down. That's DRX actually having a shout into it. And Flower with the first over towards Boom. Only one player now remaining. 5 eliminations on Boom's tally. And Frenzy looks for the cross, but he's cut down, cut straight on through. And that is another off angle coming through from TJB. 5 eliminations now towards the top. And it looks like Alpha 7's challengers are going to be them. They've been just circling them for a while.
Great teamwork right there from TJB. Not to mention that looked like to be an offensive smoke from Flower. We're going to make all those players on that edge have to just run blindly on in. They were able to take them out and clear that side completely. Now, all they got to worry about is what's right in front of them, and that is Alpha 7. How are they going to approach this fight? That's the big question. Now they took out Alliance, so this area is completely clean. It's one big fight, and I guarantee you, Alpha 7 and TJB, whoever wins this one should win this match.
Alpha 7 need to figure out how they're going to leave their buildings now. If they allow TJB to control the outside terrain, this game is over for them. But they have started to move down this hillside. This valley that sits in the middle is such a fight catalyst for these next few moments, and it's what's keeping TJB at bay. It's what's stopping Alpha 7 from fully flexing out, as well as DRX and 4MV's last remnants on the other side.
Yeah, Alpha 7 has to make a decision, right? Do we just stay and try to get these points that are pretty easy right now against DRX, or do we just try to turn around and take out TJB? Because if they decide to get into that fight a little too early with TJB, oh, and it's going to happen. This zone lands right here. These are definitely going to be your winners, folks.
4MV out. DRX trapped behind a rock. It's all waiting for it, but GK first goes down. DRX able to keep suppression going. Alpha 7 yet to really fully leave. I mean, they pushed 2 players down to the tree. There's the first knock to DRX. Nade's starting to come up from Alpha 7, and 2 players from TJB down now. There's DRX finally falling, but Alpha 7 need to capitalize on the disarray as it stands. A super low HP player at the back. They can't let this heal go through, and now with 1 player remaining, Alpha 7 look to move across the hillside, but Flower is going to stay alive for just a moment longer. First knock over to Revo behind the tree. It's not going to happen. TJB fall, and Alpha 7 claim the first. The chicken dinner over on Sandhawk will be theirs. They stood in that compound. They allowed no one any quarter. And it will be an Alpha 7 chicken dinner.
Who was it that said that Alpha 7 was overrated? That is my question, because if you said that, oh, you got another thing coming, because Alpha 7 started this one off so strong. Now,